So it's completely different. It's changed dramatically. You know, I never thought that I could dream this big. I never thought that I would be achieving what I am today.
Most people who go on America's Got Talent either win big or vanish quietly. There's rarely an in-between. You either become a headline for a few months, or you disappear so completely that even fans forget your name. But Sal Valentinetti didn't follow either path.
You're gonna be our entertainment now?
I'm gonna entertain you like you've never been entertained before.
He didn't win the show, he didn't release a viral single, and he didn't turn into a tabloid celebrity. And yet, years later, he's still touring, still selling out theaters, and still making a steady living as a singer. That's not supposed to happen. So what actually went on behind the scenes? How did a former pizza delivery driver turn a fifth-place finish into a real career, while so many winners struggled? And where is Sal Valentinetti today? The story isn't dramatic or scandalous. It's something much smarter than that. The career nobody expected. If you only watched his season of America's Got Talent, you probably assumed Sal had his moment and then faded away like most contestants do. That's the normal pattern. A few interviews, some local shows, maybe a short tour, and then silence. But the strange thing is that Sal's story actually starts after the show ends, not during it. Because instead of slowing down, his schedule somehow got busier. Within months of the finale, he was already performing across the country. Not open mics or random bars, but real theaters with proper stages, ticketed crowds, and repeat audiences. Places like the Paramount on Long Island, the NYCB Theater at Westbury, and events tied to Madison Square Garden. These aren't beginner venues. These are rooms that established artists work for years to reach. And yet Sal, a guy who technically didn't even make the top 3, was headlining them. It didn't make sense at first glance. Usually, fifth place doesn't translate into long-term momentum. But for Sal, it did. He started opening for bigger names, including Jay Leno in Las Vegas at the Mirage. He booked multiple nights in the same city. In some places, tickets sold out faster than expected. Promoters kept inviting him back. That's when it became clear that this wasn't luck. Something was clicking with audiences. His audition alone had generated over 450 million views worldwide. That kind of exposure typically creates a brief spike in attention. Then, nothing. But Sal converted those views into something sustainable. He didn't just rely on television fame, he built actual relationships with fans who came back concert after concert. And here's the surprising part. He wasn't reinventing himself. He wasn't chasing pop trends or trying to sound younger. He was doing the exact opposite. He leaned fully into the old-school crooner image. Suits, Sinatra, big band arrangements. The kind of music most reality shows would tell you is outdated. Instead of modernizing, he doubled down. He recorded his debut EP titled The Voice in 2017, featuring classic covers like Can't Take My Eyes Off of You and The Way You Look Tonight. Then came Christmas Presents in 2018, a holiday album that included an original song called When Christmas Comes to Town. In 2021, he released Little Valentine on Valentine's Day, recorded at the same Hollywood studio where Frank Sinatra once worked. None of these projects tried to sound contemporary. They stayed true to the era that made him famous. And somehow, that gamble worked better than any rebrand could have. But this whole thing makes more sense once you see where he actually came from. Because Sal wasn't built in a studio or groomed for television. His path started somewhere far less glamorous. The kid who wasn't supposed to sing. Sal Valentinetti grew up in Bethpage, a small town on Long Island, in a regular working-class household where stability mattered more than chasing dreams. Born on August 26, 1995, to parents Maria and Steve Valentinetti, there were no stage parents, no childhood managers, and no plan to become a performer. Music existed in the background like it does for most families, but it wasn't treated like a career path. The biggest influence in his early life was his grandmother. She loved classic crooners and constantly played records by Frank Sinatra, Dean Martin, Tony Bennett, and Bobby Darin. Those songs became the soundtrack of his childhood. While other kids were listening to whatever was trending on the radio, Sal was memorizing lyrics from another era entirely. Without realizing it, he was building a style that would later make him stand out. But here's the part people don't expect. He didn't even think he was a singer at first. In school, he focused on instruments. He played baritone horn, tuba, bass trumpet, and trombone. Singing wasn't something he trained for seriously. It was just something he did casually. That changed when he was 15 years old during a horn lesson. His teacher, Dr. Joseph Merkel, a prominent private music instructor and performer in the Long Island and New York metro area, asked him to choose a song to play. Instead of playing, Sal started singing the lyrics to Bobby Darin's Mac the Knife, a song he used to listen to with his grandmother. Dr. Merkel was taken aback. He immediately noticed something different about Sal's voice and encouraged him to pursue it seriously, telling him he had real potential. Still, it didn't instantly turn into a life plan. Like most teenagers, Sal had more practical concerns. He graduated from Holy Trinity High School in Hicksville, then enrolled at St. John's University in Queens, where he studied communication arts. He was even part of the Catholic Scholars Program and co-hosted a talk show called The Men's Room on WSJU Radio. He later served as the station's first director of public relations. But college wasn't cheap, and Sal needed money. So he got a job delivering pizzas for his cousin's restaurant in Bethpage. It might sound unrelated, but that job shaped him more than any vocal lesson. Driving around Long Island every night, meeting strangers, knocking on doors, chatting with customers, collecting tips, joking around, it built confidence fast. He learned how to talk to anyone, how to read a room, how to win people over in seconds. Those are skills you can't teach in a music class, and they later became one of his biggest advantages on stage. He was making just enough money to put gas in his Cadillac and pay his bills. Nothing fancy, just survival. At the time, though, singing still felt like a side hobby. And when he finally decided to try a national competition, things didn't exactly go smoothly. The failure that almost ended it. Before America's Got Talent ever entered the picture, Sal actually auditioned for American Idol. Most fans don't even know this part of the story. It was season 14, and he made it to Hollywood Week. He sang Fly Me to the Moon by Frank Sinatra during his audition in New York. Judge Harry Connick Jr. voted no, but Adam Levine and Jennifer Lopez voted yes, sending him to the next round. During Hollywood Week, he performed For Once in My Life by Stevie Wonder. He was also part of a group called Sal's Gals with Kelly Kime, JX, and Alexis Danielle Granville, where they sang Drive by Train. But he was eliminated at that stage. Just like that, the opportunity ended. No big moment, no second chance. Just a quiet elimination. Years later, Sal admitted he did American Idol partly as a goof. His uncle made him a bet, saying if the judges loved him, Sal could prove his talent. And if they didn't, his uncle would let him use his Range Rover for the rest of the summer. It was never meant to be his main shot. For a lot of singers, that kind of rejection feels final. Reality shows have a way of making you believe that if you don't make it there, you're not meant to make it at all. But Sal didn't see it that way. Instead of quitting, he treated it like practice. He kept performing locally. Restaurants, private events, small gigs that barely paid. Nothing glamorous, just repetition. Those small shows taught him something important. How to hold attention without fancy lights or television editing. How to perform for people who weren't already cheering for him. It forced him to develop real stage presence. Then, in 2016, another opportunity appeared. America's Got Talent. This time, everything aligned. At 20 years old, Sal walked onto the stage in a sharp suit, introduced himself with confidence, and told the judges he delivered pizzas for a living. He flirted with Heidi Klum, asking, "How you doing?" in his thick New York Italian accent. Then he chose to sing My Way. It was a bold choice because everyone knows that song, There's Nowhere to Hide. But the second he started singing, the room shifted. The judges leaned forward. The crowd got quiet. It didn't feel like an audition. It felt like a professional show. Before he finished, all 4 judges gave him a standing ovation. Then, Heidi Klum rushed onto the stage, hugged him, kissed him, and slammed the golden buzzer. Confetti fell. Sal broke down in tears and said, "Tonight is the first day of the rest of my life." Overnight, Sal went from pizza delivery driver to national television favorite. Still, the hardest part was just beginning. The pressure nobody talks about. Golden buzzer contestants face enormous pressure. Once the confetti falls, expectations skyrocket. Every performance has to be bigger and better than the last. A lot of singers fall apart here because they play it safe or repeat themselves. Sal did the opposite. He experimented. For his quarterfinals performance in week 2, he sang a jazz rendition of One Direction's Story of My Life. Taking a modern pop song and transforming it into a Rat Pack-era swing number was risky. It could have fallen flat. Instead, Mel B, Heidi Klum, and Simon Cowell gave him standing ovations. He finished 6th, 7th, or 8th place in America's vote, but won the Duncan Save by receiving more online votes than both Katie Lynn and Throwwings, sending him to the semifinals. Behind the scenes, he was also working on himself physically. Between his first audition and his semifinals performance, Sal lost around 50 pounds. He weighed 315 pounds at 20 years old, was pre-diabetic, and had a blood pressure reading of 145. He told reporters, "I lost 50 pounds for my health. I did this for me." The weight loss wasn't easy. He worked at his cousin's pizza shop, surrounded by cannoli, pasta, and pizza every single day. He couldn't touch any of it. He hired a trainer. He stuck to a strict diet. For 4 straight months, he avoided everything he loved eating. He said, "I haven't eaten a cannoli, a bowl of pasta, or a slice of pizza in 4 months. Nobody wants this more than me." While rehearsing weekly and performing live on national television, he changed his diet and focused on his health. That kind of discipline says a lot. He wasn't just trying to survive the show. He was preparing for a long career. He wanted to live healthfully because he planned to do this for the rest of his life. For his semifinals performance in week 1, he sang Frank Sinatra's That's Life. Howie Mandel, Heidi Klum, and Simon Cowell gave him standing ovations. He received enough votes to advance to the finals instead of dance group Malevo. In the finals, he performed Mac the Knife by Bobby Darin. All 4 judges gave him another standing ovation. For the finale, he sang December 1963, Oh, What a Night, with the Jersey Boys, bringing the theater crowd to their feet. By the finale, he finished in 5th place, not the winner, behind Grace VanderWaal, the Clairvoyants, John Dorenbos, and Brian Justin Crumb, but somehow still one of the most talked-about contestants. And that's when the real story began, building a real career. After the show, there wasn't a flashy record deal or overnight pop stardom. Instead, Sal chose a slower route. He toured relentlessly, city after city, theater after theater, building a fan base that actually bought tickets. He released projects like The Voice, Christmas Present, and Little Valentine, each staying true to his classic style. No chasing trends, no forced image changes, just consistency. He opened for major acts, performed in Las Vegas, returned for special AGT events, including America's Got Talent, The Champions in 2019. During that appearance, he performed Mac the Knife again, and received standing ovations from all 4 judges, though he didn't advance to the next round. He also performed at Heidi Klum's America's Got Talent Holiday Spectacular in 2016, where he sang a festive duet with her. He performed New York, New York prior to the main race at the 2022 Belmont Stakes. He began co-hosting a podcast called Breaking Bread with Anthony Ciarata, interviewing beloved members of the Italian-American community in New York's 5 boroughs. The bi-weekly podcast celebrates Italian-American culture and has featured prominent figures, rising stars, and community members sharing inspiring success stories and discussions about heritage. The podcast became another avenue for Sal to connect with his community in a meaningful way. It wasn't just about promoting himself or his music. It was about celebrating where he came from, honoring the culture that shaped him, and giving others a platform to share their stories. This kind of authenticity resonated with listeners who appreciated that he never abandoned his roots, even as his career grew. In December 2022, Sal got engaged to his longtime girlfriend, Gianna. He frequently credits her on social media for giving him strength and support through tough times. In October of that year, they attended Heidi Klum's famous Halloween party dressed as the Skipper and Ginger from Gilligan's Island. Klum still roots for her favorite golden buzzer and made a point to catch one of his recent shows at Vibrato, a Los Angeles jazz club. Sal posted about it, saying his night, his week, and his year were made when Heidi and her beautiful family came through the door. The relationship between Sal and Heidi represents something deeper than just a reality show connection. She genuinely believed in him from day one, and years later, that belief proved justified. Their continued friendship shows that not all reality television relationships are manufactured for cameras. His health journey continued. Years after his initial 50-pound weight loss during AGT, he underwent gastric sleeve surgery in January 2024. On his 28th birthday in August 2024, he posted before and after photos with a powerful message. If something seems to be missing from the first photo, it's 130 pounds, type 2 diabetes, sleep apnea, and a seatbelt extender. He credited Gianna for enabling, motivating, inspiring, assisting, and supporting him through the 7-month transformation. The surgery wasn't about vanity, it was about survival. Sal had watched family members struggle with health issues, and he didn't want to follow that path. He wanted a long career, and that required a healthy body. The decision took courage because it meant admitting he needed help, something many people struggle with. Today, he still tours extensively across the United States. From Boca Raton to Philadelphia, from New York to California, he performs classic Rat Pack covers and his own jazzy originals. His schedule remains packed with theater dates, private events, corporate shows, and casino performances. The work never stops, but he wouldn't have it any other way. What really happened to Sal Valentinetti? So what really happened to Sal Valentinetti? Nothing dramatic, but that's exactly why he succeeded. He didn't crash. He didn't disappear. He didn't rely on hype. He simply worked, touring, recording, performing, connecting with fans, repeating the process year after year. He treated AGT like a launch pad, not a lottery ticket. While other contestants waited for opportunities to come to them, Sal created his own opportunities through relentless effort and strategic planning. He never forgot where he came from. He still lives in Bethpage, the same small Long Island town where he grew up. He still acknowledges friends and family in the old neighborhood. He still recommends the best cannoli in Brooklyn. He posts sweet birthday messages to his mom. He stays connected to his roots in a way that feels genuine, not manufactured for social media. His approach defied conventional wisdom. Most reality contestants try to modernize, to fit current trends, to become something they're not. Record labels push artists to chase whatever sound is hot at the moment. But Sal did the opposite. He stayed authentic to a musical era decades before he was born. He trusted that there was an audience for timeless music performed with genuine passion. He understood something crucial that many artists miss. There will always be people who appreciate quality craftsmanship and authentic performance over manufactured pop trends. And he was right. The demographics of his audience proved it. His concerts attract multiple generations. Grandparents who grew up with Sinatra and Dean Martin bring their children and grandchildren. Young people who never heard this music performed live discover it through him. He bridges generational gaps in a way few modern artists can. His shows feel like time travel, transporting audiences to an era of elegance and sophistication that many believe has vanished from popular culture. His business model also proved smarter than the traditional route. Instead of chasing a major label deal that might have forced him to compromise his style, he maintained creative control. He books his own tours, releases music independently, and keeps the profits. He built a sustainable business around his talent rather than hoping a corporation would do it for him. This independence means he answers to his fans, not executives in boardrooms. The longevity speaks for itself. 8 years after his AGT appearance, he's still performing regularly. His social media engagement remains strong. His ticket sales stay consistent. He's built something that most reality stars never achieve. A career that doesn't depend on staying famous. He doesn't need viral moments or tabloid headlines. He just needs people who love great music. And those people keep showing up. Today, at 30 years old, he's still doing what he set out to do, singing for a living. He wakes up every day thankful that singing is his job. No scandals, no collapse, no desperate attempts to stay relevant. Just a steady, sustainable career built on talent, discipline, and smart decisions. His transformation from pizza delivery driver to professional entertainer wasn't accidental. It was the result of calculated choices, unwavering dedication, and a clear understanding of who he was and what he wanted to be. He never tried to be the next big pop star. He just wanted to be Sal Valentinetti, and that turned out to be more than enough. In an industry where most reality stars burn out fast, where winners fade and runners-up disappear, where viral moments mean more than actual talent, Sal Valentinetti found something more valuable than fame. He found longevity, and in an industry obsessed with overnight success, where artists are disposable and trends change weekly, where authenticity is often sacrificed for marketability, that might actually be the biggest win of all. What are your thoughts about Sal Valentinetti? Share with us in the comments. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to like and subscribe to our channel. For more interesting stories like this, be sure to click on the next video that pops up on your screen. You never know what you'll discover next.